Hi. So in the last lecture, we seen that how to create a table actually. So sometimes maybe when you are creating a table, you may not have enough information for creating a table actually. So sometimes you need to change the definition of a table. That means you may change the name of the table, or you may change the column name, or you can change the constraints, or you can add new columns, or you can drop the new columns, or you can modify. So all these things you can do by using this alter command, because you are changing, right? You are altering. So as the name implies, it is going to change the definition of the table. That means either it is adding new things to the table, or it is deleting the existing things actually, or it may be modifying the existing things. So for that purpose, alter command we are going to use actually. Okay. So how by using alter command, what we can do, let us see how we can do. So it is used with add, drop and modify. So these are the uh, keywords we are going to use actually. So now here if you see syntax of this one, table name, so it specifies the name of the table that you want to modify, and a new column name. So here you can see add meaning is you are adding a new column. So new column name, so it specifies the name of the new column that you want to add to the table actually. Of course, column definition, next one. So column definition meaning is what? It specifies the data type and definition of the column. That means you can add the some constraints, null, not null, unique, whatever that is coming under the column definition actually. And here very importantly, first, this is optional thing. First of all, in this square brackets means this is optional. First after column name. So here as name implies, this new column, if you want to put as a first column, then you can give first. Okay. Or if you want to display this new column after some particular column, existing column actually, then after that existing column name, you must mention actually. Okay. It is optional. It tells MySQL where in the table to create the column actually, position of the new column you are mentioning actually. Okay. So if you don't specify this column, what is going to happen? The new column will be added to the end of the table. So that we will observe when you are when you are changing a table actually. So now let us see hands-on session, whatever we discussed. So this is the table we already created, student table, and this is the metadata of this particular table actually. Now let us try to add one column here. Okay, so we have already roll number, name, address, age. Now let us add marks column here. So to add a new column, alter table, this is the keywords you must use. And after that, which table you want to change actually? Student table. This table you want to change. Then now what you want to do, because we again with the alter, you can do all these three. So what you want to do, you want to add a new column. So add, so that MySQL will understand that you are going to add a new column to this particular table actually. So what is that new column? So syntax, you can see new column name. So I'm just giving marks. It's a definition. So for example, marks. So this is decimal. So let us take this as a 5, 2. Okay. Hello. Akka. So this is what constraint you want to add actually. So this is the column we want to add. Now, if we run, let us observe what is going to happen. So let us check whether it is successfully done or not. So yeah. So you can see here that column is added successfully. So how you can check actually? Here you can see describe student table. Okay. So if I run this one, now you can see here marks column is also added. Or you can see here also in this schema, in this database, come to that particular student table and expand this columns actually. So here this is not updated. What you will do is just give a right click refresh all. So you can see marks column is there in the table. So in that way, you can add the columns actually. Now, if you want to add more than one column, so here only one column we added. So more than one column, how you can add? Okay. So that is what alter, simple. That is just by giving the comma actually. Alter table student. Okay. Then add. So what columns we can add actually? So for example, mobile number. So mobile number. Okay. And let us give it as an integer, and then add another column. So to add another column, you observe that I am just giving the comma. So more than one column if you want to add at a time with a single command, a single execution, you can do it actually. And mail ID. Okay. Mail ID. So mail ID, let us take it as a varchar. So here, let us take it as a 30. So now if I run this query, what is going to happen? Those two columns are also going to add. Yeah, so it is added actually. So now if you again refresh this columns part, you can observe that those two columns in the table. Okay, or even if you run this also, we can see it actually. Okay, so here you can see mobile number and mail IDs are also added to the table. So in this way, more than one column if you want to add to the table, then we can do it actually. Now let us go for the modify option actually. So here we mentioned add, drop, modify. So add is this one. So if you want to add new column, you can go for the add. Now let us observe the modify part actually. Okay. So the modify command is used to change the column definition of the table actually. So how you can use it? Let us observe that. So for example, here come to this describe part. Address have varchar 30. Okay. So address have varchar 30. I want to change this from 30 to 35 or 40. So definition, this part I want to change. So at that time, what we can do? So go for the alter table, table name student. So this is as usual. Then you have to use the command modify so that it will understand that it is going to modify the existing column. So what is that column? Address. Yes. What you want to do? I want to change it to 30 to 35 actually. So varchar of 35. Okay. Now if I run, let us see. Yes, it is done. Then let us, if you describe that particular table, then you can observe that change actually. So you can see here for the address part, you have 35. But here we must be very careful in the modify. Sometimes this modify will allow and sometimes it may not allow actually. For example, in this case itself, you have 35. So for example, one of the student addresses 35 characters are used. One row is there. In that one row, total 35 characters are there. But later, if you want to modify this 35 to 20 actually. So if existing length you want to increment, you will not get any problem actually. If you want to decrement, if you want to reduce the size, then it will cross check the all the rows. Is there possibility or not? Because already some data, if already some data is there in the table, then it will not allow if size of the any field less than to the new size actually, or greater than to the new size. Okay, so that is why, of course, in this case we don't have. So now here we can reduce it to 20 actually, because we don't have data. So let us check that will it allow or not. So you can see it is still running. So now it is affected. Now you can see whether it is changed to the new size or not. So here is the output. So now you can see address part became 20. So if existing data allowing, then it will allow to reduce the size actually. If the if you are trying to increase the size, there is no problem. Only when you are decreasing, there may be a problem actually. Okay. So this is what related to modify actually. We can change the name of the, you can change the constraints actually. Now let us see how to drop the columns actually. So that is what, as we seen here, drop actually, all with the alter command, how you can use the drop. So here, alter table student. Now let us try to drop the one column from this actually. So for example, if you take mail ID, okay, then drop column. So this all blue colored text is actually keywords. So that is why drop column is the keyword. Then what is the column you want to drop? For example, mail ID, let us take. Okay, then let us run this one. Now you have mail ID in the table. After this query executed, mail ID is not going to be there in the table. Now you can run the describe. So you can see mail ID is not there in the table. Okay, so like that you can delete the existing columns from the table actually. Now another one we have, rename the column in table actually. Okay, so this we can use it to change the name of the column, existing column. So that also let us see, alter table student. Then here the command you have to use is change, and what you want to change, column. What is that column name? Old name you have to mention, new name you have to mention. So for example, here roll number is there. So old name is roll number. That you want to change to roll number. Like this you want to give. Then if I run this one, then you can see. Yeah, here we have to mention. So here we have to mention its data type also. So that is varchar of, that is integer, for example. Now if you run, is going to run. So here table name is wrong. Yeah, now let us see. So run successfully. Now let us see describe student. So you can see roll number, R number became roll number now. Is it or not? So in that way, actually column names also you can change it. Okay. Not only the column names, you can change the table names also. Okay, by using this alter command. How and all, alter table. Table name is student, existing one. What you want to do? Rename it actually. So rename to new table. New table is student, for example, 2. Okay, or let us give like this, student table. So existing is the student. Then that we want to change to student table actually. So that you can see. Yes, this is run successfully. Now what we will do is, let us try to describe the student. This is old name, is it or not? So if I run this one, so you see table student does not exist. If you give the underscore table for this one, then if you run, you can see now it is there. So because this name is erased, this new name is taken actually. So now onwards, after this line execution, you must use new name actually. Old name is not going to exist. So these are all things you can do by using the alter command. So you can see what are all things we did here by using the alter. So alter is you can add the columns to the table. This is the one, and more than one column you can add to the table. This is the one, and then you can modify the metadata actually. So that means you can change the data types, sizes, all these things for any particular column, or you can drop the columns, or you can change the column names to old name to new name, and at the same time table names also you can change them actually. See, this is what overally you can do with the alter command. This is very, very important. Of course, when you are designing a table, if you miss any information, later you can change the definition of the table actually. That changing the table definition you can do by using alter command. Okay.